Qualifying for the Toronto Grand Prix is about to get underway here. The streets of Toronto, once again, is famous for its racing. Welcome to what is going to be a fantastic session. So round one sees two groups, 10 minutes on track per group. The fastest 6 cars from each will advance to round 2 with 12 cars in total. And then we will have the Firestone Fast 6. But around the beautiful XL Centre, it is all go here. Let's check in with what the team are saying down on Fox Sports.
A little tribute to Jimmy Hinch.
Looking sharp, boys.
Thanks.
Fits well.
It does.
Yeah.
It suits you. You guys look great. And it's oatmeal. It's your color.
Right?
I like the theme of this shirt, though. Shut up and drive, mic drop tour. This was last season when you said, I'm going to go back to doing more racing, got in the sports cars, and it was all about substance. And that's what today's about. You did come up a little short in Daytona this year on fastest lap, but I put that to the
nice
side.
segue, by the way. Nice segue.
Today is about go fast. It is about one lap. Forget everything else. Forget all the pomp and circumstance of the weekend that is the Toronto GP, because there's plenty of distraction for these drivers. It's time to put your head down, lock in, and send it. You just got to do one quick one, but 3 times to get pole.
And look, it's a short course, only 11 corners, about 1.7 miles, but it is so challenging. All these different surfaces throughout pretty much every corner of this racetrack, and it's so much fun when you strap on the softs here in qualifying, thinking to yourself, okay, how much of a risk am I willing to take? How far am I going to push it in each one of these 11 corners? Because just a little bit over, guys, and it can be completely over for you.
Practice 1 was dominated by Kyle Kirkwood, fastest driver. Colton Herter took over the reins this morning in second practice. This is a track which the Andretti cars absolutely love, but I'm hearing breaking news down in the paddock concerning one of the Andretti cars. Georgia, what can you tell us?
Well, and it is breaking news because they're having problems with the brakes on the 28 car. They were rolling down the hill of the INDYCAR Center, tried to stop going out to pit lane and realized they could not slow that car down. So they're changing one of the master cylinders right now on the 28, but you can see Marcus Ericsson suited and ready to go standing behind the car. They've had upwards of 12, 13 people trying to change this before qualifying, but time definitely is of the essence. Luckily, he's in Group 2, so they have a little bit of time, but nonetheless, they're thrashing down here on the 28 car with brake issues.
Yeah, you can see that bleeding the brakes at the front and working on that front left. Marcus Ericsson, quite a considerable gap away from his teammates this morning, about a second off. But they do have a little bit of extra time. Here are the races coming up. July ends in Monterey, then into August, Portland, Milwaukee, and we finish in Nashville.
Yes, not long left then until we get going once more. Welcome up to the commentary box as well as we get ready for our first group to head out there onto the circuit here for the Honda Dealers Indy.
What the heck? This is just terrible.
Hearing the international feed we're hearing what the boys are saying up in the Fox booth as well. So Group 1 is about to get underway. Scott McLaughlin, Nolan Siegel, Christian Longard, Scott Dixon, Will Power, Santino Ferrucci, Graham Rahal, Kyle Kirkwood, Louis Foster, Felix Rodriguez, Cardelli, Stingray Robb and Callum Milov. They'll all be heading out there onto the circuit as well. First off, I just want to say that I'm having to sit down for this one because it's actually coming to you from the MacBook that we're having to stream, because the main setup, that is using the Cup Series and their delayed session. So if things look a bit different, you know why, but we are, doing our thing to make it look as identical as possible for you as the green light goes on and qualifying is underway here in Toronto. Let's see exactly who's hot and who's not, and check in as the green light goes on. Let's get out to Will and the team. Cars making their way out then onto the circuit here. Few of them already choosing the black primary. Power, Longard, Dixon, Ferrucci, McLaughlin, Kirkwood and Robb. Alternatives out there, Rosenquist, Siegel, Daly, Rahal, Foster. Also had one, an I-Lot coming through. And Alex Palou he'll be getting ready to go out next time as well. Does look weird on the backstretch with no bridge here now this year. There's a nasty bump coming down in towards turn number 3 as well. That's been causing a few issues. Fingers crossed it's going to stay okay across the two, as we see now coming up through the back half of the sector. Continuing to push on on the inside line. So Marcus Ericsson, car in pieces on pit road. He's in Group 2, of course, of qualifying, so he should be okay to start with as power builds up. The clock has started, so we've gone across the alternative line here, which is along the run down towards turn 1. So keep an eye out. Oh, sorry, the alternative finish line here finishes on the back stretch where the 27 is currently locating right now. One more with the wheel power, though. Down into turn 1, hard on the brakes, flick the car in, slowly put your throttle back down on the power, and open up down towards turn number 3 as well, past the bridge section that used to be here. Now, there's a bump just under acceleration here. Just bang, right on the braking zone. And it's been catching a few of the drivers out that we saw yesterday and early on in practice. Looks like Power's first lap has been compromised by traffic in front. Now we're riding on board with Colton Herder, who had a spin earlier on in the weekend as we head down, but Kirkwood's still on top. Let's check in then with the world feed as Will Buxton's back with us.
We ride on board with Kyle Kirkwood. And folks, this weekend, Kyle Kirkwood, if you haven't been with us through practice, running a different livery for him, which you may get confused, slightly confused, with that of Colton Herter. Very, very similar, but running the silver gold bull livery here in Toronto. Fastest in first practice. Second place here in the race last year. Kirkwood wants so desperately to get back up to P1 and to really cement his name as the king of the streets in 2025. With more on Kirkwood, Jack Harvey.
Thanks, Will. Managed to talk to Robert Wickens this morning, who's actually on the timing stand also of the 27. And I said, you guys must be feeling pretty good. And he's like, yeah, almost feels like the cars are too good to be true. This session is purely about execution, but they know they've got really fast race cars. Kevin.
Well, yesterday is the only time that the softs are available in practice leading up to qualifying. And Will Power told us that he thought the hards were actually a little bit better. He was quicker, but as the track has evolved, everyone is finding the lap time on the softer compound. And Will said, not only do I think it is going to be quicker now today, but we need to save the hards for the race. So these are banker laps just to get something on the board. And then you're going to see the soft determine starting positions today.
Qualifying times this time last year, Colton Herder was the quickest in the first round on 1 minute flat, 0.1885, improving to a 59.7 in the top 12 and a 59.5 in the fast 6. Current fastest man, Felix Rosenquist, on a 101.1. We ride on board with him now, courtesy of Sirius XM.
So we ride on board with Felix. It's interesting to watch what the tire strategy is for these drivers. You see those green sidewall Firestones. He's straight onto the soft tires and on a quick lap. You can see up here in the top 6, if a driver's name is highlighted in green, he is going quicker than his previous lap. Obviously below the cutoff line here at P6. Everything below here is to that P6 time. But as you can see, Nolan Siegel was going a bit quicker. Will Power, same thing, so they're just kind of on the bubble of their best times, but all green right now down in the bottom half.
And Dixon's gone fastest. Dixon really going quick here as well. Just an update that we've had the Cup Series practice and qualifying cancelled, so Chase Elliott will start on pole position as well for tomorrow's race. Just as an update for you, we'll keep you updated with the Xfinity broadcast that gets underway in about 2 hours' time. Riding on board now as well with Nolan Siegel, cleared to race as well after his accident a week ago. So, oh, he's locked out down at turn 3 over the bump and has to go over the escape road and loop the car around. I said that that part of the track is getting a little bit tricky and controversial, and right on cue, there it is, up to a 360 and coming back onto traffic now. Lundgaard's gone top, 1 minute, 0.852, but Siegel having to do a complete 360 to get out of here. More like a billion-point turn, and now goes on, safely rejoins, no one else near him. So look, over the bump, just, yeah, as soon as he hits the bump, the rear of the car locks up, and then it just locks the front, straight on down, nothing he can do at all. Well, that's a disappointment there. That's ruined his lap time.
They're into turn 3 again. If you're joining us for the first time this weekend, you'll see the bump that Siegel goes over right there. and that bump has been causing a lot of people to lock up going down into turn 3. There was some new asphalt laid down there before the weekend began. That was causing a bump during first practice, so some more was put down overnight to try to even the slight drop down into turn 3. But the bump, the difference in the track surface does still exist and has been causing a number of issues throughout this weekend under braking for turn 3, the biggest braking zone of the entire circuit. But it's Lundgaard on top as things stand from Scott Dixon, Felix Rosenqvist, Graham Rahal, Kyle Kirkwood, and Louis Foster. Again, looking quick, but look at that. Both Penske's outside the top 6, so to the second McLaren of Nolan Siegel.
Based on timing and scoring, only Dixon and Kirkwood inside the top 6 right now. Did that on the hard tire. Everyone else electing to go soft. So essentially what you're doing there is you're ensuring if you get into the Firestone Fast 6, you're not going to have a new set of those soft tires to go for pole, but Dixon and Kirkwood both trying to make that happen, trying to set themselves up for Q3.
That's what you do when you're confident, and maybe nobody on the streets of Toronto more confident than Kyle Kirkwood right now as we listen to Louis Foster on the radio.
So there's something broken on the car. I don't know what it is, but you sent me out with a car that's broken. Front right.
That's worrying.
Well, if something's broken on the front right, the crew does not appear to be too concerned about it, unless they found something right now, because the car sits. Maybe now they're going to go in for a closer look, but it looks to me like they're about to send Louis Foster out. Is that potentially just a dramatic difference in feel with the soft tires, and it just feels broken, even if it's not?
I mean, we did see yesterday when drivers were on the softs, it looked like the car was really moving around on that tire, almost like what you see on a wet tire when the track goes dry. But I'm not sure. I mean, drivers have a good sense of the feel of their race cars, but it felt like something was broken. I don't know.
Yeah, so often with the soft tire, you expect the feel to be a ton more grip when you bolt it on. Yesterday, what it looked like to me on board was squirmy soft, not grippy soft. You want grippy soft, and it looked like a lot of cars were struggling, riding kind of on top of the track. Sit 4 gummy bears out in the sun, come back in an hour. That's kind of what you would maybe expect to feel on a hot day like this with these super soft tires.
So good run so far. So good run so far as they come through. Thought I'd jump back in perfectly there. Turns out I hadn't. On board with Kyle Kirkwood then. 6th gear as he runs down towards turn number 3. Drop down as well now all the way. First gear corner. 42 mile an hour the slowest as you rise back up the hill into the very tight concrete lined 4 and 5. Through back as well to the right-hander at 6 and open up the throttle as you curve round down towards 8 and 9. Heavy on the brakes once again as you go past the alternative start line. Ferrucci's in 12th position. Right now it's Foster in 6th place. He's at the cutoff time. You can see with the red line above on the dashboard looking quick. Kirkwood has moved up into 5th position, 101.044. So it's Lundgaard, Dixon, Rosenqvist, Rahal, Kirkwood, Foster. That's your top 6. Below, Power, but it's improving. So is McLaughlin by 0.4 of a second. Ilott, Siegel, Rob's improving. Ferrucci and Daly all coming through as well as we ride now with the Gamebridge car down on the brakes hard coming down into turn 3. This is the bump. The bump underneath braking, rise uphill into 3, slowly, bit of a snap, there's no power steering, so you're fighting for control. This is Kyle Kirkwood really pushing like crazy right now as he just twitches once again on the alternative tyre compound, pushes hard up towards the alternative line, and it's going fastest. Kirkwood, 59.906. Very nice time from Kyle Kirkwood. Lundgaard, he's also looking up, but McLaughlin puts in 2nd. Foster's dropped down. Rosenqvist goes 3rd. McLaughlin's going for another lap time. And Power goes 2nd. 1 minute, .187. Still, 59 seconds for Kirkwood. That's the best time we've seen so far. Rahal improves. Ilott goes 2nd. Where's Rahal? Everyone below is improving by Ferrucci and Rob. Daly goes 6th. McLaughlin now in 4th. Ilott to 2nd on the minute charge. Siegel goes to 4th. Daly still being dropped out of it. Still trying to find other places to go in as well. McLaughlin's going to be improving certain areas on the situation too. Over the line with 10 seconds to go. I'm still not seeing 100% with the flag out. Siegel's improving, so's Lundgaard. It's not over yet here. I think that's what everybody knows as well. Down the brakes again. Power's got second. We're riding with Siegel. He's 2 tenths down as things stand. Daly's not improving, neither's Ferrucci or Lundgaard. I think it might be the rookie of Louis Foster who's gone through to the second round of qualifying here. Over the line comes Nolan Siegel. No, he doesn't do it. Misses out. Kirkwood still top. Dixon goes third ahead of Ilott. Ferrucci's not improving. Neither's Lundgaard. We're riding now with the Lucas Oil on board. Lundgaard only goes tenths. 1 minute point 451, and that's it. Flag's taking everybody now. Kirkwood, Power, Dixon, Ilott, Rahal, Foster, there your 6. Siegel, McLaughlin, Rosenquist, Lundgaard, Daly and Ferrucci. They're out then here so far. First session complete for qualifying of the IndyCar race here at Toronto. You know, every time I hear that music, it still reminds me and still wants to tell me that we're Fox on NASCAR, not Fox IndyCar. So, Siegel's car will progress. Now, have they done any work on Marcus Ericsson? That's what we need to see if he is going to be good to go shortly. So, the advantages are Kyle Kirkwood, Will Power, Scott Dixon, Callum Ilott, Graham Rahal, and Louis Foster. They're all who's going through at the moment. Siegel, McLaughlin, Rosenquist, Lundgaard, Daly, Ferrucci, Rob, they're out of it, and they set those positions down on the timer.
I mean, he was
hustling
the race car, but he has confidence to really hang it out there. Looks very much in touch with both ends of the race car in terms of what to expect when each axle hits the violent bumps around here and throws that shock back through the steering and to his right foot. Kirkwood doing a great job.
Yeah, great job up in P1. Perhaps no surprise. The only driver to have dropped under 1 minute for the lap time. Power up there as well for Penske. Dixon, P3. Guys, Callum Ilott.
Fantastic.
Just unreal. I mean,
quick in practice, not a fluke.
Not a fluke at all. Still looking for his first top 10 with the Prema team. And man, what a weekend to get it done here on the streets of Toronto if he's able to qualify well and run a clean race. And it's a lot of ifs.
Yeah, a lot of ifs. And 2 RLLs.
Yeah.
And they were expecting a tough weekend. So for both of them to make it to the top 12, hats off.
See Power there, made it through. Newgarden about to go out, but McLaughlin not advancing.
That's a biggie.
Let's talk about some of the ones. Felix Rosenquist, a driver that we always expect to be quick in qualifying as well. And some of the street course woes continue for AJ Foyt Racing with Ferrucci down in 23rd.
So these are the drivers who advance from the first part of qualifying. Incredibly, Callum Ilott 16th in second practice. Rahal was 14th. Foster was 18th. Big jumps from all of them. The big losers, though, McLaughlin out, and he was 4th in practice. Rosenquist out. He was 10th in practice. Lundgaard out. He was 12th in practice. 3 big names to fall at the first hurdle. But chapeau, hats off to Callum Ilott, Graham Rahal, and Louis Foster. Jack Harvey standing by with Scott McLaughlin.
Scotty, you were so fast in practice too. What do you think was missing in qualifying?
Driver made an error there. Just like missed turn 5 apex just by a little bit, and you see with the concrete here, if you're just off a little bit because it's not rubbered in, you like lose a chunk. So yeah, that's on me. Yeah, unfortunately, Gallagher. Feel sorry for everyone on the Gallagher Chevy, and but you know we'll make most of it tomorrow.
We know you'll absolutely have a great day tomorrow. Kevin.
Felix Rosenquist also just missed, only a 10th or so. Where could you possibly find that? What have you learned?
I think everyone can find a little more. You know, you never really do a perfect lap. I honestly thought I did a decent lap, so it's kind of one of those, yeah, you feel good about your lap. You kind of expect to transfer, you don't. So, yeah, I just have to look at what went wrong. Haven't really felt super quick all weekend, but, yeah, I definitely thought I would transfer. But, you know, we're not only missing 1 step, we missed like half a second. So, yeah, I need to dig a little harder for tomorrow.
Thank you, Felix.
Guys, quite incredibly, the times across the board from P1, Carl Kirkwood to Santino Ferrucci out and at the bottom from Stingray Rob, less than 0.8 of a second from P1 down to P12 in that session. And from P1 to being out, Nolan Siegel, 0.4 of a second. I mean, so close to the wall there for Siegel. But 0.4, guys. I mean, literally nothing in it. From Foster in 6th, 1 minute 0.3 down to Santino Ferrucci. That's 0.4 of a second. There's nothing in it. We're talking millimeters.
See what this guy's going to be able to do. Colton Herta's been magic around this place last year so far in practice, but it has come with tremendous aggression and high risk if you think about the number of times he's had lockups. I mentioned that earlier. So can he pull it all together? How much was he able to glean from Kyle Kirkwood's data before firing off pit lane here for this banker run on the harder compound?
We'll have had some information, some useful information from Kirkwood for sure. But as everybody just tries to space out here, I mean, that's, again, the alt-start finish line right in the middle of turn 7 right here. So out of 6, you need to be on the gas. Obviously, this is a slow start to the session for everybody as you try to find your little bit of racetrack, your little bit of clean air here around the 11 turns of Toronto.
So who's confident? Who isn't? Well, the confident guys are the ones on the hard tyre. That's Colton Herta, Joseph Newgarden, Pato O'Ward, Alex Palou, David Malukas, and Marcus Armstrong. Malukas straight to the top on a 103 on the hard tyre. Newgarden deposes him immediately, and that's great to see. 28 has made it. Marcus Ericsson out on track after the brake issues that he suffered before the session even began. We talk about Malukas being confident, and well, he might be. Last time we were on the street circuit, streets of Detroit, qualified a magnificent 2nd.
But that confidence isn't coming from Marcus Ericsson because you see both of his teammates went hard soft. He's going soft. Only 15th quickest in practice 2 this morning, over a second off of his teammates. So it makes you wonder if there was maybe a braking issue with that car in the session itself before whatever finally let go on the way to the grid. But hopefully the brake pedal there, exactly what he needs it to be, giving him the feel that he needs it to be, because you know, that initial hit on the brake, as you know, T-Bell, that just kind of decides all of the confidence that a driver has for the rest of a corner.
Especially on a street circuit. I've had brakes fail on the streets of Surfers Paradise in an IndyCar, and there's no more terrifying feeling than a mechanical failure. I don't need to explain that to the guy sitting next to me. He knows what that's all about. But brakes on a street circuit, suspension on an oval, those are things you sort of take for granted because you have to. In order to put things on the very edge and push things to the limit like all these guys do, you have to count on your equipment.
Rasmussen and Rossi both sitting at the top. Both of those drivers on the soft tires. Same with Devlin DiFrancesco, who's trying to bounce back from some engine issues in practice, or I believe turbo issue for the 30 in practice.
You got to catch up with him before the weekend began. A home race for Devlin DiFrancesco, of course, dual Canadian and Italian citizenship. How is he feeling coming into this?
Hey, look, it's this mixed blessing and curse when you have a home race. It's such a cool opportunity to get to not just drive in your home country, which a lot of these drivers don't get to do, but in the town you were born, in your backyard. But it does come with a lot of extra pressure, a lot of extra responsibility, and you know, Dev's doing the best he can to sort of manage that. The team's doing a great job around him, but mechanical issues that have kind of held back his running a little bit, never what you want to see.
Both his teammates progressed out of their group. Can Dev join them? No doubt it will have given him some confidence. Ericsson up to second, Rossi up to third, VK in sixth. We sit on board with Joseph Newgarden seventh as it stands. But on the harder tyre, we don't expect to see him challenge too much in this early part. That's when he straps on the softs in the latter half of this 10-minute session. We expect to see the Penske's and the car of Colton Herta really come to the fore.
Just on the brakes right as he hit that bump. It looks so painful from the onboard. Little oversteer entering turn 3 there, but still absolutely nailed the apex there. Newgarden's car looking nicely sorted. The front end through 6. Can often wash out on power.
I like what I see from the Team Penske cars so far this weekend. Balance looks great, and I'm sure Newgarden likes what he hears. P1 and pit on the harder tires. So I think these guys have taken a really nice step here in Toronto year over year. Maybe not all the way to the Andretti level, but great progress, and boy, do they need it.
Well, what a run from Joseph Newgarden. We said we weren't expecting much from the hard-shod drivers. But up he is in P1 ahead of everyone on the soft tyres. That is one hooked up car. There is the driver of the 21, Christian Rasmussen. We're taking a little look. And a front right lockup coming down to turn 8. And is he in the wall? Oh, at the slightest of brushes on the exit of the final corner.
Touched it, but I think you get away with it there. Doesn't seem to be quite a hard enough of an impact to cause damage, not like what we saw this morning from Jacob Abel in the last lap of practice. That was a proper hit and led to a proper spin. But this guy's so exciting to watch, especially on the ovals, but he's making it exciting here around the streets of Toronto as well.
And you can see the scuff marks.
See the white paint from the wall on the floor. That's the thing. That floor, edge of that floor sits out just a few millimeters further than the tires do. So if you hit it square on a straight circuit, you can get away without really damaging anything. And I think he just sort of lined it up perfectly.
Nobody more at ease with dancing close to the fire than Christian Rasmussen this season. As you said, James, ovals, wheel-to-wheel combat, street circuit near the wall. He is the most comfortable at what should be the most uncomfortable moments, I think, of this field, and it hasn't bit him big yet. He's been able to hang on and pull it off for now.
As you say, he's the one that likes to dance in the flames, but it's his rivals who seem to get their fingers burned if they get too in the flames. But it's his rivals who seem to get their fingers burned if they get too close to him, as he has those really wild and leery moments out on track. He is never anything less than exhilarating to watch out on track. Now the soft tires are on. Now everyone's back out on track. Less than 4 minutes. It is go time in Toronto to make it through to the top 12.
I'm delighted to say that we've finally got our systems back operational up here in the commentary box after NASCAR has ended, which means I can say a very big hello to everybody watching us both on Twitch and on YouTube as the session continues on. Joseph Newgarden on top from Rasmussen, Ericsson, Rossi, VK, Devlin DiFrancesco in 6th. Then it's Herta just out with Malukas, Simpson, Schwartzman, Palou, O'Ward, Armstrong and Abel. But we've got a very interesting situation with the fact is that half the field can't get their traction on so far because, and this is quite unusual, we've got going on where the track is sort of in 2 different parts because everyone's lifting and coasting, and not actually going for it as of this moment. So, yeah, not the easiest situation, certainly not the best, but they will deal with it as they always do. This is Q2 of this event, and fingers crossed it's going to be an interesting one. Keeping an eye out with 2 minutes left on the clock. Still not seeing a best Delta speed run. 1 minute point 6.731 from Newgarden as things stand. So they're still sort of halfway in and out of the overall procedures here. But this is looking good. It's not over yet, and that's the important thing. Hello to everybody on Twitch as well who's joined us. As Palou, late on the brakes, swoops in, brings that throttle back up as well and tries to have the traction, desperately wants to have anything to do with the last word out here on the circuit as they continue to push on forward. Newgarden, 1:06.73. Rasmussen, Ericsson, Rossi, VK, Devin DiFrancesco, Herta, Maluka, Simpson, Schwartzman, Palou, O'Ward, Armstrong, Abel. Everyone but Schwartz, and now Schwartzman's improving. Everyone's improving out there with delta times better. It's going to be anybody's guess who can go top. Alex Palou, 1:27.14. Palou to the top, Newgarden second, Kiffin Simpson jumps up into third place. All eyes to the timing screens. Herta's improving, Simpson 2. Herta, top. Oh, and that's... Well, I don't know who we're on board with there. It didn't tell us on the overall camera. The international feed still not 100% with it. Marcus Armstrong has gone fastest with Colton Herta in second place. If that adjusts anything on our timing graphics, which it does ever so slightly, I must admit, it's getting up there. Rasmussen goes 6th to Simpson in 7th. Armstrong, Herta, Palou, Schwartzman, VK. Newgarden down into 6th. Checkered flags coming out. This is the overall oh dear moment. Palou goes to the top again. 1:01.57. Herta third. Delta times desperately needed to come through. Simpson third, flags out, on board with the other Gamebridge car, and this being Colton Herta. Devin DiFrancesco goes over the line. He stays in 10th. Herta goes into second place, does find time at the end. VK to the top. 1:01.43. Ericsson goes through. Out goes Malukas. O'Ward goes through. Out goes Simpson. Rasmussen might just make it through as well because he's got some delta times up. Over the line next. Armstrong top. Still not fast in what we saw in Group 1 though. Nothing from Rasmussen. Schwartzman. Nothing from him. And nothing from Simpson. Armstrong, VK, Palou, Ericsson, Herta and O'Ward. They are your qualifiers that will join the Fast 12. Well, sadly to say, I think we saw that one coming, didn't we?
So Simpson unlucky not to make it through in the end, but McLaren's blush is spared as O'Ward progresses in 6th. Herta and Ericsson make it a happy day for Andretti. They're both through as well, but what about Armstrong and VK? Sensational.
Yeah, definitely one of the two better ones to come through.
A much stronger group than I expected. Much stronger.
So Armstrong, great run from him. Guys, what about VK?
It was a strong group. Some surprises there. Just as soon as I said Herta could probably just pit now, that should be good enough. Well, it was, but barely. I mean, VK and Armstrong popping it in like that.
And through all that, once again, I mean, first group, we were kind of remiss to say, and McLaughlin's out.
Right.
This one, who's out? Newgarden.
You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, it's crazy to think, you know, of the cars that didn't advance, that's probably the one that stands out by far the most. I mean, Kiffin Simpson has to be pat on the back. That was a great effort. Only a few hundredths of a second away from Pato O'Ward in order to transfer into Q2 in the top 12 shootout. But Pato by the skin of his teeth. As you say, Townsend, Colton, I mean, it's a good thing he stayed out. Did that extra lap. And Marcus, great job for Ericsson to get that lap in after that drama of getting up towards, you know, the start of the session.
Things coming together at just the right time for Marcus Ericsson. But this is a scene we've gotten far too used to. We just cut from Joseph Newgarden's car, but Newgarden not transferring in qualifying. But Rinus VK, sensational.
It's remarkable. This young man is just absolutely getting the most and then some out of this Dale Coyne racing machine. You know, you hate to keep making the comparison to his teammate, but Abel at a 1:01.8, VK at a .1. So just a massive gap. And that just tells you, you know, obviously a rookie, Jacob Abel, still getting up to speed. But that means that there's really nothing that VK can take from his teammate. He's doing this almost as a one-car team.
Yeah, I mean, but VK was doing great mid-season until Mike Cannon came on board. Ed Nathman had done a great job with Rinus VK to that point, and then Mike Cannon bringing, you know, maybe even some fresher information. to the stand as you take a look at engineer Mike Cannon. And this guy is such a gamer. He's so competitive as a personality and has been a great fit with Rinus VeeKay. Dale Coyne working the magic once again, putting the right people in the right places.
Both of them ahead of Alex Palou, Marcus Ericsson and Colton Herter, both for Andretti, and Pato O'Ward. A couple of surprises in there. Armstrong was only 13th in practice, VeeKay was 11th, Ericsson down in 15th. Incredibly, Newgarden, who was 3rd, and Malukas, who was 9th in practice. Neither of them go any further. Neither, though, do either of the ECR drivers, and George is standing by with one of them.
Christian Rasmussen does not transfer on, but may have learned some valuable information for tomorrow. What would that information be?
That we need to find some pace. Yeah, we've been struggling all weekend, and honestly, like, it felt like a pretty good lap. You know, the balance was probably the best that we've had all weekend long, but we're still just lacking pace. So we need to get back to the drawing board, try and figure out something, what works, and then hopefully be better tomorrow.
Thanks, Christian. Kevin.
David Malukas needed just a little more than half of a tenth. How do you go about when you do the post-mortem on these? Where can you find that?
It's just with timing. We were kind of an in-between. Unfortunately, with traffic here, it's so hard to kind of judge where we want that tire. I mean, these tires are very sensitive when it comes to timing. You either time it for lap 2 or lap 3, and we couldn't get it right just with traffic. We want to push, we can't. So we end up coming in lap 2.5, and then at the end of lap 3, tires already falling off, and it's a bit of survival the last few corners. And I mean, that's that 1 or 2 tenths right there. That's going to drop us out. So it's unfortunate the way things played out, but it's just part of the game here at Toronto.
So very tight. Thanks, David.
We talk about tight. The gap between 1st and 25th, 0.85 seconds. That's it. That's how tight it is here in Toronto.
Times are flying here as we get ready for Group 2 to head out onto the circuit shortly here for qualifying from
Toronto. Every
Toronto.
weekend, some big names out in the first part of qualifying and some surprises making it through. Guys, who impressed you the most out of those 12 that have advanced?
Rinus VeeKay. I mean, just awesome. And I think Marcus Ericsson, that's a great rebound performance. I mean, look, he was not factoring in the top 2 or 3 like his teammates, had that brake issue that we saw. It's really hard to jump in and kind of mentally just reset and lock in the moment and fire off with very limited time and laps to get it done. So those are the 2 for me. How about you, James?
Yeah, I'm gonna double up on Rinus there, but then I'm gonna give a shout out to Marcus Armstrong. You know, he's been on such a run. He's in that beautiful Sirius XM machine that's all red and white for the Great White North, and that's 6 top 10s in a row consecutive. That's the longest streak currently active in the series. Even Alex Palou doesn't have 6 consecutive top 10s on the series. So we talked about it yesterday in practice. This driver was kind of looking for that pop performance when we spoke to him in Iowa. He got that with that podium, and that steady, slow improvement just kind of keeps on coming, and he's keeping that streak alive here so far in Toronto.
Kevin, what can you tell us about tires, mate?
So several used both or 2 of their 3 sets of their softs to advance to round 2, but no one that you would really think is a pole contender. Callum Ilott, Graham Rahal, Louis Foster, maybe his, because he's won a pole this year, Rinus VeeKay, and Marcus Ericsson. Everyone else advancing still has 2 sets left, and one reason why they may have decided to go ahead and use them up in the first round is no one thinks they want one set for the race tomorrow. It is going to be a black sidewall, hard compound race.
Good stuff, mate. Thank you. Callum Ilott, super impressive from him to make it through into the 12.
But now tire poor. He'll have one more set here.
Indeed.
to try to see if he can really nail it and transfer, but then he would be, he'd be a long shot in the Fast 6, along with Graham Rahal. But RLL, if you look at street circuit qualifying this year for this team, Graham was 21st at St. Pete, 16th at Long Beach, 11th at Detroit. That was their best street circuit as a team. And then Louis Foster started things off 16th at St. Pete, 20th in Long Beach, and 13th at Detroit. So for the bumpiest street circuit on the schedule, good progress for the Rahal team.
Time for a little bit of a history lesson. First IndyCar race here in Toronto back in 1986, won by Bobby Rahal. 7 wins for Michael Andretti in history. Paul Tracy, the only Canadian winner in Toronto. Sorry about that, Hinch.
Me too. Me too.
And a rockin' version of your anthem.
Not mad at that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Should have had that at the game last night. I like the Blue Jays song, though. That was pretty good. Most wins by Canadian drivers. Look at that. Second on the all-time list, Mr. Hinchcliffe.
Quite a gap to be up there at P1, but no, awesome.
More than Jacques Villeneuve, though.
Yeah, awesome to be on a list with some of the greats of Canadian motorsport.
It's a great list of drivers. I mean, you look at any of those names, and there's immediate, strong, vivid memories that come to mind with each and every one of those guys.
Hey, look at Scott Goodyear there. Potentially, it could have been a 2-time Indy 500 winner and things gone slightly differently.
Let me ask you a question. You know, we talk all the time about the Finnish drivers or the Swedish drivers having great car control because you grow up in the snow and you're in slippery conditions. Same thing holds true here in Canada. It's a long winter. It's a slick winter on the roads. Is there much to that? I mean, how much time did you spend in, you know, the local sports fields of your high school or whatever, sliding around in the snow?
Yeah, that's what I think the key difference is. When you talk about, you know, the Finns and the Norwegians, the Danes, they've got snowy roads, small 2-lane rally-style roads that they practice on. In Canada, we just go to big parking lots and do a bunch of donuts.
But you did it.
Oh, I did it a ton.
In what?
A lot of different vehicles, SUVs. Mini Cooper was a good one.
Okay.
Nice. Done it in also, you know, the front-wheel drive cars are fun because you can lock the e-brake and really learn some car control. In the summer, if you want to do that, you just put the trays from fast food places under the rear tires.
Yes.
Lock the e-brake.
Yeah.
And away you go.
What was your biggest non-racing incident?
I agree with that.
I clipped a curb in a Mini Cooper. I also hit a deer in a Honda Pilot, and I got to say that thing saved my life. So I'm a big fan of those cars.
Wow. Just a reminder that is the revised alt start finish timing line for qualifying this weekend. It was about 300 feet further down the road, right at the apex there of turn 8, so they've moved it back.
So we get in this session coming into it. I should really probably come back up to the comp count. Yeah, it's going to work. So we get in this session Kirkwood, Armstrong, Power, VK, Dixon, Palou, Ilott, Ericsson, Rahal, Herder, O'Ward, and Foster. As the green line has gone on, we are underway for this session. And just hugging that inside line as tight as he can, nearly up towards the wall as well, actually, for Palou on his starting banker lap. It's a 102.883. Power goes faster, 102.7948 of a second as well. So there's still a little bit of time to be found out there that we were expecting as they hug that inside line as tight as they can and then push the Power down over the start line, down in towards turn number 1. Power just in behind. So Power, Palou, O'Ward, Dixon, Rahal, Foster ahead of Ericsson now as well. The 6 will progress through. 5 on a faster lap. Now VK slots in just ahead as well. We ride on board with Kyle Kirkwood as we get the heads-up display with on board of the aero screen. You can see how much the car's bouncing around. He's 8th at the moment as he started a lap at the alternative finish line. So this is effectively the beginning of his lap as he comes out of the last couple of corners. Really strange pit lane here as well as it goes around the curve. Changed it from what it was a few years ago. when it used to be on the straight, but you know, we changed it, and yeah, it doesn't really work these days. So it's really nullified the last corner for any good overtaking here at Toronto. But it's a street circuit, it's the last one of the year, so fingers crossed it's going to be good as we're now into our Q3 session. Down the brakes hard. Kirkwood and Erikson's improved. Eriksson's got up to 6th. Foster's got up to 4th. Kirkwood's in 8th place at the moment. Everyone out there on the alternative soft compound tyres, I can tell you as well. For those of you listening in on the radio coverage, still trucking along as well as it goes through. Best finish of the season so far for Indycar, 4th place. The Dutchman, as there's a lockup coming into that last corner. No one's got off the track as they come into the pit lane. Kirkwood, Palou, O'Ward, Dixon, Foster, Rahal. That's your 6 at the moment with 7 to go. Pit road.
Vernon has the first pit box.
It was that lap around on Friday, and we asked him about that first pit box entry. He said actually it's really good. He prefers it over being mid-track. Of course, Alex Palou has the best pit box with nobody in front of him as Palou goes rolling by. But Kirkwood actually likes this entry.
You'll notice there is a bollard on pit entry. Every driver has to stay to the right-hand side of that in order to protect the crew of Kyle Kirkwood on that pit entry.
And this is his biggest threat for pole position right now. The Gamebridge Honda from the same stable, Colton Herta, up on his lap time right now, gaining a little bit more time through turn 6, loses a bit on entry, gains it back now for the most part on exit.
It's not up by much, just enough to make it through into the top 6.
Boy, Kirkwood going half a second better on the bankers.
Ominous.
Yeah.
Ominous if you are not in an Andretti. Ominous if you're not Kyle Kirkwood.
Yeah, it really does seem like so far since this qualifying session started, Kirkwood's had a little bit of the edge over his teammates. You said it, Townsend. Great rebound here from this guy, Eriksson.
Yeah, interesting to note, Marcus has got his old trainer back with him this weekend, Alex L, who he's been working with since his Formula 1 days. Alex, for the most part of this season, has actually been working with Pierre Gasly in Formula 1. But I noticed him in Andretti hospitality over lunch. We had a good catch-up. So he's come back to work with Marcus, and not just on his physical well-being, but his mental well-being as well. We know that's such an important part of Marcus Eriksson's preparation for his racing. And Alex, who's been a key part of his team for so many years, having him back in the fold, an important change for Marcus this weekend.
Well, you were working full-time in F1 in the prime of Marcus's F1 career. How has his personality changed? When you come to IndyCar now and you talk to Marcus in the paddock, has he changed much?
He's back to being the Marcus I knew in GP2.
And what was that?
And that is someone who is used to being at the front, used to fighting for wins, who walks with an air of confidence, and someone who knows that he belongs, whereas in Formula 1 he never had the equipment to prove his value, to prove his worth. And it's true for so many people in Formula 1. They spend their entire lives from karting up to Formula 2 going into every weekend thinking, I'm fighting for podiums this weekend, I'm fighting for wins. And then they go to Formula 1 and they're in a team that can't do that. And so their whole objective, their whole mindset for a weekend shifts from being, I'm going to win this weekend, to being, God, I wonder if I could just score a point. As a racing driver, you know, for you both, like that, imagine that kind of a mindset change. It's night and day. So to be in a championship where you can win from last place on a Sunday, where you've got a chance because it's about the driver, not about the car. And I see that Marcus that I knew on his way up, the one who had attacked weekends and who entered with confidence. And that's great to see, you know. I remember when he turned up at the US Grand Prix in Austin, having won the Indy 500, and was walking through that Formula 1 paddock for the first time with his shoulders back and high on confidence, and look at this sparkly thing that sits on my finger that none of you guys have got.
This is Palou leaving the pit lane. Just
that is Palou leaving just ahead of Pato O'Ward.
Might be subject to an unsafe release here, and I can see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a safe release.
Yeah, he had to get on the clutch. I mean, that was pretty late send from the 10th crew.
So what would be the option? IndyCar could make Palou drive through for that. which is not the end of the world, but boy, you're doing a full lap on the soft tires.
It throws off your entire cadence, gives you only one flyer on the softs.
Do they have enough fuel for it?
Kevin, what can you tell us, mate?
Well, one thing I'm just kind of looking at is normally if you have pit out, you want to just release as late as you can. But here, you only literally have about a second before you see that award car coming around the corner. It's almost like you need an extra spotter on pit lane calling things for you.
Yeah, it's so tricky here in pit lane with the way it curves. The drivers come in first to the right, then back to the left. This guy, by the virtue of his pole position in Iowa, was able to choose that first pit stall or last pit stall, depending on how you want to look at it, which can be certainly advantageous. With no greatest VK at the bottom of the charts with a 115. When he went off in turn 8, he did cause a local yellow, impeded some cars, as we kind of pointed out. That results in the loss of the fastest lap up to that point in the session. So his banker lap taken away, will still be able to fight for an advancement here.
So Palou P2, we watch him improving. Green band around his name, so too will Power in 6th. You look further down the order, Armstrong has just started his lap and is down, and I'm hearing Scott Dixon, and yes, he has gone off. Lock up on the front right, a little bit of a flat spot there for Dixon. He's back on his way and just rounding through the final corner to... he's 3 corners into his lap on the run down to turn 1.
But guys, that's important. We were unable to see if any cars went through that zone while he was, down that runoff. That meant that the lap for that competitor will have been disqualified. And if that's the case, then Scott will lose his fastest lap up to this point as well.
That's a very good point as well to bring into it. So Dixon's going to lose out on a lap time as well with a minute to go. Foster's improving, so is Palou, Rahal, Ericsson, Ilott, VK, they too improving as we now cut back to a blocked Armstrong. Who's that just ahead of him as well? It's Dixon. Dixon's blocking Armstrong again still. No command blue flags in a qualifying session. No orders to get out of the way. Palou and Kirkwood are top. Power is 5th. Rahal is looking strong. So is VK. Dixon's finding time now. But this is not the best news at the moment that we only have one Penske in this order. And that is Will Power. And he's on the verge of being kicked out again. Their season going from bad to worse. Someone just moved up the order. VK goes 3rd. That pushes Power to 6th as Kirkwood goes top. 59.927. Once again, Kirkwood proving that the battle between him and Palou is going to be on this weekend. 4 winners so far. Power goes 2nd as the flag comes out. Herta now in 6th position. He's in a bit of trouble. Foster's improving. So's Rahal, Ericsson, and Armstrong. Ilott down, flag out, and Armstrong goes 4th. So Herta's now improving. O'Ward's going to be kicked out as Herta goes 3rd. So out goes O'Ward. Foster coming across. That is Ilott going 11th. There's Dixon. No improvement. Foster's nearly in the wall as he comes over the line, takes the flag. Foster breaks through. The rookie is into the fast 6, but is Rahal going to beat him? As Ericsson goes 7th and Rahal goes through. Kicks out Foster. Armstrong 6th at the moment. He's safely through, but does he improve? No, stays 6th. And that's it. Everyone's taken the lap. Kirkwood, Power, Herta, Rahal, Palou and Armstrong are the 6 going through to battle it out for qualifying. Out goes Foster, Ericsson, VK, O'Ward, Dixon and Ilott. Well, we now know who's going to be where as we get ready for the final part of qualifying coming up shortly. Let's head down to Will Buxton.
Scott Dixon out. His search for a pole position continues. Last time he started from P1, the Indy 500 in 2022. Seems like a wild stat, that, right?
Yeah, I think it just went wrong with that locked up tire running long in turn 8 to start things. That got him totally out of cadence, and he'll be frustrated with that. And you can tell he knows he's got a fast race car. And Callum Ilott probably talking about traffic. Yeah. That's Ryan Briscoe on the pit wall, and Ilott furious.
Yeah, I think he's got a right to be. to be honest, because there were a couple of moments that seemed to affect him in that section.
Oh, Scott Dixon.
Bam! That's a good hit.
That would explain it.
Good hit.
Yeah, solid whack of the wall for Scott Dixon. I mean, a consistent race winner. 21 seasons in a row. But are you surprised he hasn't been on pole for 3 years?
Not really, when you think about the competition.
Yeah. Fair.
And kind of the youth rage that is the sport right now, with the awards and the Hertas and the Kirkwoods and Alex Palou and all these guys coming in that are laying it all out there and going for broke. And Dixon's never been about qualifying. Dixon's always been about racing and points and championships. That's why he's a 6-time champ. That's why he's high-fiving the crew. He knows he'll be back strong tomorrow. This is a great racetrack for him and his car, Chip Ganassi Racing. They've given him a great setup to, I think, manage tires extremely well.
Power then will be going for his second pole of the year. Last one was Gateway. 4 of the 6 have a pole already this season. Here are your 6 drivers who advance to the Firestone Fast 6. Kyle Kirkwood and Will Power, the only drivers in qualifying today to have dropped under 1 minute. Carlton Herter, who was on pole last year. Rahal, Palou, and Armstrong. Scott Dixon certainly had an interesting session. Lockups, wall hits. He stands by with Kevin.
Yeah, there's still a green mark that we can see over there near pit out on driver's right. How much force did you hit that wall with? How much did that end your chances?
It actually happened before that. You know, the first kind of push lap going into 8. As soon as I touched the brake, it locked. I went in the runoff. And obviously, it was pretty square. So then tried to regroup and then push again. And the right front was kind of square. So as soon as I turned in, it didn't seem too bad and kind of turned 9. As soon as I got to 11, it just took right off. So, yeah, frustrating because the car was definitely very good. Had speed easy to get through to that session. Yeah, so my bad.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Georgia.
Pato Award will start 10th tomorrow. The debrief has already started. What do those conversations look like?
I'm really happy with the car on primes, so I think it'll be looking good for us in the race tomorrow. But just these reds, these green tires have really been a difficult thing for us, just to switch them on or just like find a way to make them work, really. Yeah, we're like 7/10 slower in Q2 versus Q1. And I have no real explanation for it. I don't think any of us do. It's so frustrating. There's such a difference when you go new to new and it's the same tire. So it's just, I don't know. I don't think we're the only one in the paddock, but yeah, it's just really, really frustrating. But I think I have the strongest car that I've had here, at least for the race tomorrow. I feel definitely better than what we have in the past. So yeah, we'll see what we can make happen from there. But it's going to be tough.
Thanks, Pato. Jack.
Callum Ilott, before the weekend started, we were talking about maybe you and the team are finding some momentum. You transferred, but then we saw you a little animated. Tell us what happened through the session.
I didn't get a single lap because Muppets keep going off in turn 8, rejoining and blocking you. You're like, I didn't get a single lap. So it's frustrating. You've got guys going at 2 miles an hour on their out laps, just backing everyone up. I mean, we did a great job. We have a good car. Just, you know, when you're 2 seconds off because every lap you come through and there's a yellow in T8, I don't know, just not good.
I hope you have a better day tomorrow.
Well, it's B12. It's not too bad, but, you know, it's just like people block it out. Whatever. I don't know.
All right, well, best of luck tomorrow then.
Good try, Jack. The frustration's real. He had the speed. We saw that earlier. Too bad he wasn't able to show it.
Which Muppets do you think he was talking about?
He might not even
speculate,
know.
yeah.
He might just be coming around at turn 8.
Louis Foster looks like the Swedish chef. Well, we can call Marcus Ericsson the Swedish chef because he's Swedish. But I don't think it was either of them. I think it was Renus and Scott, wasn't it, that kind of got in his way?
Well, it's tough to know. I mean, yeah, it's guys going off. And again, that's just bad timing. It's just bad luck.
Yeah,
it's not really anything. It's different than the drivers backing up and creating those issues. If you just go off, you're pushing, you're doing your thing. If it catches someone out, it's just bad luck.
Hey, Kevin, with tires, where do we stand right now? Does Armstrong and Rahal, do they have another new set to use?
Graham Rahal does not. According to my accounting, only Graham Rahal advanced and went with 2 sets in round 1, then used another new set in round 2. But I believe the other 5 should all still have a set available, and I don't think there's any reason for anyone to save a second new set for the race tomorrow. So I expect 5 of the 6 will be able to use a new set. Graham Rahal should be content making the Fast 6.
Exciting stuff for Marcus Armstrong.
Very much so. And I think, I don't think content's the right word there. I think Graham Rahal could be thrilled that he's in the Fast 6. This is not the type of racetrack they've excelled at recently, but they've had some great results, especially in qualifying. They've had a couple good runs, and Graham's always strong on Sunday. So if he can get himself, by getting himself, I should say, up into the Fast 6, that's putting himself in a great position for tomorrow.
Marcus Armstrong's best career start in his IndyCar history is 3rd. You want to know when his last pole was?
Portland. Sorry, who? Graham Rahal?
No,
Oh.
Marcus Armstrong.
Oh, Marcus Armstrong. Oh.
2019 in Formula 3.
Ooh. Wow.
Rahal's last pole, you're right, Portland. 23. Can either of them make it up to pole position? As we heard, Rahal does not have the fresh set. Everybody else does. Welcome back to Toronto. Fans are out in force as they have been all weekend. It really has been so well attended. Police get around slightly differently here in Toronto. It's the only way you can navigate your way through the traffic.
Even then, I think it's a challenge. Horseback is the preferred way for police to get around here.
Yes, indeed. Right, session has begun. It's time for the most famous words in racing. There you go.
Well said.
Thanks. 4 of these drivers have, of course, been on pole position this year. Carl Kirkwood of Long Beach, Will Power.
They pulled out the bus mixer, Mike.
Colton Herta was on the pole in Detroit, and Alex Palou, well, he's been on pole a few times this season. Iowa, the last time on pole, the last race. For Graham Rahal, it's been 2 long years since his last pole position. For Marcus Armstrong, it's been 6. Formula 3, Austria, the last time he won pole. Formula 3 at Spa-Francorchamps, the last time he started from pole, but that was a reverse grid race. Who's got the pace today? Will it be either one of those Andretti drivers who have ruled the roost, not just this weekend, but last year as well here? Can it be the Penske of power? Will it be the mighty Palou, or either of the unexpected 6, Rahal or Armstrong? Kevin, we ride on board with Will Power.
Greatest qualifier in the history of IndyCar, but it might surprise some people to learn that it's been almost 3 years since Will Power has won a pole that was not on an oval, and that was the record-breaking pole at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca at the end of the season in 2022.
Wow, that long.
Helped him win the championship and also surpass Mario Andretti. Power had no idea what kind of car he was going to have on the softs. He thought the hard compound was better yesterday, but it's obviously coming to him on the softs today.
Thank you very much, Jack, as they come in now for all of this action. We are gearing up for, I think, the unpredictable of what we're going to see here as the session gets underway. Just trying to find the opening laps. Palou, 1 minute, 0.637. Power, 101.025. Armstrong 104, so that's a big banker lap time. Everyone diving into the pit straight away, so they're not ready. They know it's a short lap here, so they're not in a massive hurry to crash, bang, wallop, off you go and see who's where. And I can respect that, as we now see Will Power is getting fitted with a brand new set of the alternative tyres. So I think only Colton Herter has progressed on. Coming now as well, the 66 of Marcus Armstrong, so they're staying out there as well with 4 minutes to go of this session. Jens here says, I've never heard Callum's accent that thick before. He's, well, angry to have to change it. But yeah, I agree. I've never seen Callum Ilot's accent that bad. The Brit, yeah, there's a fellow Brit as well. That is quite on the nose, isn't it, as to how angry he is. Muppet is, yeah, I think the old we can do there. He was really angry. Could have been in this one as we ride with Herter, finding a lap time, but having to fight for control. The tyres did not look like they're in the operating window, so I think he could be at risk here of losing time. On board with Will Power. Is he going to get his first pole position on a road course since Laguna Seca, as Jack said at the top of the broadcast? It's all in the air, all to play for here. Still don't know what's going to happen next as they fly down on the braking zone to now join Power at turn 3. Hooks the inside line, rises up. Rahal goes 254, so he was just cruising out there. He's not even attempting to find pace. He's just lifting and pushing as hard as he can from this point onwards with 2:45 to go. Pelot starts a lap time. At the alternative start-finish. Out at the back, kick. At the top of your monitor, just where the 27 went through. So the 66 come out to it. This is the kick before the little straightaway to enter the pit lane. The alternative there to make sure that it's easier for you to come into the pit lane and not have to do a whole more other lap. It's a good idea, actually, that INDYCAR have an alternative qualifying line. Formula One looked at it, but realised this wouldn't be feasible. 2:06 to go, because the timing line has to be in line with where race control is. A bit of a sideways moment coming through for Armstrong. Still, this is just the beginning lap times as they fly through. Armstrong now beginning to improve on his first Delta lap time.
The right gets a little wide now through these S's that lead to the front straightaway. Hanging it out there, though.
But it's lost him time.
This one and one more. They know they've got time and Delta to push through.
Strategy from the team, getting kind of those 2 push laps. This one and one more. You can go there, you can go 99% on that first lap. Make sure you get a time on the board, and then really just try to find that last little bit of everything in every corner, every brake zone, every throttle application, providing those softs can hang on for another punishing qualifying.
And you know what? They've got him out in the perfect place as well. He's got about a quarter of a lap ahead of him with no
He's free.
He's absolutely clear track. He's bolted for 2. And
yeah, only Power's just coming into turn 3 now as well, so this is a good, strong, simple run. He knows how much time he's got in front. He knows how much he can push and pull. And he's really throwing the car around as hard and as aggressive as it will take it. Just 45 to go. Armstrong improving on the order, but it's Colton Herter who currently has provisional pole position. Just literally lifting and coasting. All they can do, just trying to find the correct situations here as we rise up to turn 3. The flag is out shortly. Herter's 4/10 up. I think it's Herter's, personally, I really do. Herter's finding so much more time. Armstrong and Pelot will go faster, but Herter's half a second up at the things stand. This is an unbelievable amount of time that's flying at the moment. Yeehaw once more. Armstrong to provisional pole. 1 minute, 3:5. Kirkwood, that time he had for the 59s, can he do anything yet? The checkered flag is out. Colton Herter will come across the alternative line to move up into pole position. 59.832. Palou is next behind. Can he do anything as he takes the flag? Only second fastest. It's not good enough for the championship leader. Will Power now only moves to fourth. Nothing from Rahal, nothing from Kirkwood. He can't do it. It's Colton Herter who has pole position on the streets of Toronto. 59.832, Palou second, Armstrong Power 3-4, Rahal 5, and Kirkwood puts it in 6th place. Stunning lap.
We'll wait to see what actually happened to him. But what a run from Colton Herter. It's his 3rd pole position here in Toronto. And there is where it all went wrong for Kirkwood.
That's essentially at the start of the lap. That's the first real corner.
And he's going to be kicking himself for that. Yeah. Over the old start-finish line into 8. Oh, man, takes too much curve, gets all crossed up. Wheel out of his hands. So he was... Wait, no, that was his...
That was his end
That was
lap.
the end. That was the end
So
of his
something
lap.
must have happened somewhere else, but for this guy, pulling it all together at the right time.
What a job. What a job from Colton Herter. Back-to-back poles here. His first pole of the season since Detroit, the last time we were on a street track. And it's 3 poles here in Toronto. 2022, 2024, 2025. Does he ever love this place? Your NTT Pole Award winner in Toronto for the 2nd year in a row is Colton Herter. And I think he'll probably be quite relieved that the biggest threat never ultimately came from his teammate Kyle Kirkwood.
Great run for this guy, Marcus Armstrong. Brilliant job. Team owner Mike Shank comes in for the hug.
It equals his best ever starting position in IndyCar. P3 for him and ahead of Will Power. Wonderful run. And why don't we hear from our NTT pole winner, Colton Herter, who's standing by with Jack Harvey.
Colton, firstly, congratulations. Your Q3 lap was the fastest lap of qualifying. You swept last year. What is it about this place you love so much?
Yeah, it's tough to say. We have a great car, and thank you. We have a great car here. You know, it's plain and simple. Like you see what me, Kyle, and Marcus are able to do inside the race car. You know, I like to think it's because we're better than everybody else, but, you know, it's the cars are really just that good, and I think they make us look really good. So happy with how the Cambridge Honda was performing. Listen, this is a tough race. This is a really long one, and we added 5 laps compared to last year. So physically, it's going to be really demanding. It's a tough challenge for us. I'm so happy to finally be back here on the pole, but need to get that first race win of the year tomorrow.
And with the extra laps, you said it's going to be physical. Do you think we're going to see any strategy differences than what we have in previous years?
You know what? I don't know. It seems like the red tires are hard to hold on to. So how much compared to Long Beach and Detroit and what we've seen where guys get off them really fast? It's still too early to tell. I'll have a better answer after warm-up. But I think you could run quite long on them for right now. So that's a good sign. Hopefully we can have a good race.
Congratulations, man. Colton Herter is your NTT Pole Award winner.
Brilliant job from Colton Herter. P1 again on the streets of Toronto. Alex Palou alongside him on the front row. So it turns out, guys, Kyle Kirkwood made the mistake, came in, tried to get some more fuel and missed the cutoff line?
I believe so. I imagine the car was fueled for 2 laps. That was the start of his 2nd lap, with turn 8 essentially being turn 1 with the alt-start finish line. Knew that with that moment he wasn't going to be able to fight for pole. Decided to save the tires, cut into pit lane, try to get more fuel in it and get back out. But, you know, that's, you know what it's like, T-Bow. When your cadence gets thrown off like that, it's so hard to rebound and bounce back from it. So Look, this is what we talked about earlier. Just because you had the fastest car, just because you had the confidence, you still had to absolutely execute in these qualifying segments. And it's so difficult around a track like Toronto with all the surface changes, the walls, the bumps, even with a great car. It's a huge challenge.
And ironically, it was Colton Herta that was the one in practice that we were referencing all of his offs and little mistakes as he experimented, and then when it mattered, when it really counted, he pulled it all together and just crushed the competition with that 59.8. So I think it just tells the story, to your point, James, how hard this is and how much you're dancing on the tip of the needle to not only make it to the Fast Six, but ultimately sit on pole.
Brilliant job from him. Can you believe this is Pelot's best start here? Before today, it was 18th.
Yeah, it was 15th, I believe. 23.
15th.
But
sorry.
But he hasn't had a finish worse than 6th. So it just shows you how capable he is on Sundays to bounce back from even a subpar qualifying.
Big question for the field right now, and they'll get more answers tomorrow. Will this be a 2-stop race? Are those soft tires going to last? And I'll tell you what's coming as we see picture perfect skies in Toronto. Rain tonight, about a ½ inch forecast from midnight to 6 a.m. That's going to wash that track off and take some of the rubber away and create, I think, even more questions about what the tire is going to be in terms of soft tire performance, what that'll be for the race.
Wow, and braking zones, first couple of laps, overtaking opportunities on a track that's not rubbered in. That could be big fun.
Appears to be some traffic down there, James.
Seems so out of character for old T.O. The good news about that weather situation is IndyCar's not the first thing back on track tomorrow.
Yep.
So there'll still be a lot of the support series out there cleaning up online, offline, making sure that everything's in ship shape when the IndyCars hit the track in the afternoon.
Well, welcome back to Toronto, where Colton Herta has taken his second pole on the bounce, his third in total on the street circuit that he loves. It looked like it was going to be a fight between himself and his teammate Carl Kirkwood, but while Colton Herta took the pole, his teammate starts on the outside of row 3.
Kyle, you were the fastest driver in the first 2 parts of qualifying. Just talk us through what happened in Q3 there.
We definitely just gave away a pole. Without a doubt, just started the lap, and first time all weekend it's happened to me where I just got a huge snap there. It's been understeering, and one time I go through there for when it matters for pole, and it bottoms, and I get a huge snap. So unfortunate. It just feels like I'm throwing away poles left and right on street courses. So yeah, that one didn't feel very good, if I'm being honest. So we'll get back, we'll look at it, figure out exactly what happened. But no, I mean, obviously huge congrats. At least someone made up for it with Colton getting the pole there. So super happy for the team, happy for the 26 car, but very, very disappointed with that performance there in Fast 6. I tried to come into the pit lane as I knew the lap was already shot, and I was just like, can we get fuel in and try and go out for another? And they're like, no. And so in hindsight, that was the best idea to go for the pole. But in hindsight now, I mean, that just cost us probably an extra few positions just because I didn't even do a lap. So yeah, a lot of dumb things.
Well, I'm sorry about your day, but you've been blisteringly quick. So we're going to have you, hopefully you have a great one tomorrow, Kevin.
Well, Alex Pelot is going to be on the front row for the 6th time this year, and this is a lot better view than you normally have here in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, we've normally been struggling quite a lot here in Toronto. Honestly, our target was to try and start up front, try and be in the Fast 6, top 10, and yeah, it's a surprise that we're starting on the front row. Honestly, the car was like getting better each time we were on track, so super proud of everybody's work. Super happy to be starting on the front row tomorrow. See if we can get Colton there. Colton and Kyle have been on another level here this weekend, so hopefully we have something for them tomorrow.
That should be fun. Alex Pelot starting 2nd.
It is 6 top 10s in a row, but now he is tying his best career start. That's Marcus Armstrong in the Canadian livery. At that, it really seems like the sky is the limit for you right now. What do you think you have for tomorrow?
Yeah, it was a good day in the office, honestly. The lap felt pretty average, if I'm brutally honest, but you know, I got a cool hat out of it, so I can't complain really, you know.
stealing that hat for tomorrow. Marcus, it seems like this team is really coming together, and especially here on the streets of Toronto, where it can be aggressive, it can be bumpy. How do you prepare?
Yeah, I mean, the race tomorrow is going to be a completely different story to qualifying as usual. I think you're my manifestation friend, because before the race in Iowa, I think I said, see you on the podium, and that's what happened. So, see you on the podium.
So now Victory Lane?
See you in Victory Lane.
See you in Victory Lane.
There you go. You heard it here first. Manifesting the win in the bucket hat. Just needs a Parker, and he's properly on brand.
Pack it.
Interesting that Marcus Armstrong didn't think that was even a very good lap, and it's put him on the second row of the grid. Sign of growing confidence for that guy with that team.
Yeah, and that's what he said he needed, was just a little more pace. We were there praising his top 10s, you know, his 7s, 8s, 9s, and he's like, yeah, but we're not fighting for podiums, we're not fighting for wins, and that's what I need to be doing if I'm going to be happy. And got into that podium in Iowa, put himself already in podium contention here in Toronto, so it's definitely an upward swing and a consistent one for him.
It seems like he's been thereabouts, and now he's entering the there phase. And you just have to be there. And if you're there over and over and over again, the results will come. That's how Alex Palou delivered. I mean, his championship run this year is built on the foundation of sort of being in the hunt over the first, you know, couple of years in IndyCar, and then just building on that foundation of success. And I think what's so remarkable about Palou is just outright pace. He's delivering outright pace that he didn't have before. And that was the warning Chip Ganassi gave us back in March at St. Pete. He told us, I hate to tell you guys, he's going to get better, and he has.
And a word for Graham Rahal, when we look at his street race qualifying this year, St. Pete was 21st.
What do you think about this, Will, right here?
Long Beach was 16th. Detroit was 11th. And today is 5th. A continual, I'm ignoring you.
Yeah.
A continual, no, I'm not going up.
I mean, there's an open opportunity.
Not for me.
I'll pay for it. Let's go.
Absolutely.
I'll take it right now.
No, absolutely not.
What?
It's not happening.
What would we have to give you to walk?
Literally
$1 million.
US, not Canadian.
Oh, so now it's
that's hurtful.
So there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance? What was all that 1 in a million time?
Maybe we get the 50-50 money at the Blue Jays game, which is up over $1 million, and
that
convert
could be
it.
well. That could be.
Absolutely
not.
not.
Come on, you're strapped in.
Absolutely not. No. Listen, no.
What are you afraid of? What can happen?
What do you mean, what am I afraid of? Are you looking at the screen? Are you completely insane?
Those are two separate questions.
Yes. And yes.
Right, we'll talk about Graham Rahal in a minute. Honestly, I was onto a really good thing then.
Seems like the commentary has gone down there from our colleagues at INDYCAR. It's back now.
Well, last night in the 6 was a victory for the Blue Jays, 4-0. To be fair, we could have left top of the 3rd and the score would have been the same, but a wonderful night was had by all. Townsend didn't love the song so much. We like the song, Hinch.
We love the song. We were in the minority. That group was hating on our 7th inning stretch song.
The American contingent, baseball-loving American contingent, had never heard the Blue Jays 7th inning preamble.
No, but then we sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Right, that came afterwards.
Yeah,
it kind of killed the spirit of "Take Me Out to the Ball."
Oh my! Disagree.
Goodness.
Hard disagree. Right, this man this year, St. Pete qualified 21st, Long Beach qualified 16th, Detroit qualified 11th. Today, he's 5th. That is continual improvement for Graham Rahal.
Graham Rahal will start 5th, and you did that on used tires. I mean, tell me about your run.
Yeah, I mean, we've been really struggling all weekend with the United Rentals number 15, to be honest. So in the first run, we went alt because we felt like that was our only chance to get through. But yeah, I was impressed with the speed the whole time. The boys did a wonderful job. And so when we got to Fast 6, first off, we didn't expect to get there. Maybe we should now on street courses. We've been there a lot this year. But yeah, I mean, we only had used alts to go. So, overall, though, really good day. So I'm not going to complain too much. I love starting up front here. I've done it a couple of times, and hopefully tomorrow we can finally get this monkey off our back and just have a
good, smooth, calm race. It'd be awesome.
Graham Rahal started 5th in Detroit, our last street race, and now he's going to back it up with a 5th here in Toronto.
Will Power matches his best non-oval start of the year. What'd you take away from qualifying? How good are you feeling about it?
That was good. Good. I think our true potential is probably second, maybe third. Yeah, I kind of babied the tires for the first 2 laps of that last run because I felt like the money lap would be the third. We probably didn't bring them up enough. I knew the Andretti's were going to be tough to beat. They looked very good, but we were there. We were right there. I mean, we were close. Made some good changes, and it's nice to get through.
Will Power is going for a 4th win here in Toronto, and he's got a very good starting position to do it.
That he does. This man has the best starting position of all. His qualifying on street circuits this year, 2 seconds, 2 poles.
Okay, we're going to leave it there now as well for our coverage here today of the event. Join us in around about half an hour when we get underway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That's coming your way as well from Dover. Matthew Owens alongside Seth Ease are going to be commentating on that one for you. Well, it's pole position for Colton Herta with Alex Palou alongside at a street circuit for the final time this year. Join us tomorrow at 5 o'clock British Summer Time for the Toronto Grand Prix. Good night.